Hello, I'm Carly, and welcome to The Last Grown Up in the Woods. Today, I'm talking about my first aid kit. I've been tagged by Mad Mel, not Mad Mel, Biker Bushcraft, or the artist formerly known as Mad Mel, to talk about the three most important things that I think are in my first aid kit. I think this is a great tag. First aid is important because if you're in the wilderness and you get yourself hurt, there ain't no ambulance to call. Or if there is, they're going to be a while. So let's go. So here's my first aid kit. I keep it in a Ziploc bag because I have a really big one that I take if I'm leading a trip. And that's too big, and I have a small little container that I think is too small. So when putting this together, I try to think about things that are the most multifunctional. And the first one is, of course, duct tape. I've also wrapped it around a pencil so you can write down things. So not only would you want this around for repairing gear, but there are so many first aid uses. You could make up lashing to help you make a stretcher, make a splint with it using some stick, tape wound dressing on, tape big wounds together, make a tourniquet out of it. Anything that you need for twine or tying things up. I don't know. There's so many things. The next one, I've kind of cheated and partnered it up. Now, I have a space blanket here. I keep a few of these around. I think this is important in your first aid kit because if someone's actually injured and they have to stay there for a while, you're not getting them out of there, you have to keep them warm. Either because you're treating for shock or the weather's just nasty. They're not going to be able to regulate their body temperature as much. And I've partnered it with my Sil Poncho tarp. And it's 5 by 8 foot. It's enough to make a emergency shelter. Same thing, you want to keep your casualty dry and warm. Third item, where are you? I lost it. Do you know where it is? The third item is something that I wouldn't actually take with me, but I have something to represent it, and that is my first aid certificate. I have a advanced wilderness first aid. It's a 40-hour course. I think knowledge is the most important thing. It's one thing to have a first aid kit. You can have the best first aid kit in the world, but if you don't know how to use it, then you're toast. And I really think that just like a one-day first aid kit that some people have to get for your jobs, the occupational first aid, we call it here, isn't going to cut it, because with those first aid courses, everything is treat for shock and wait for an ambulance. Guess what? Waiting for an ambulance isn't always going to work when you're in the backcountry. I think a wilderness first aid, first thing it does is it kind of gets you thinking about some of the things you can improvise with. It gets you thinking about some of the tools that you have that aren't in your first aid kit. How can you use sticks? How can you use jackets to make a stretcher? Or a backpack to help you carry people out? Things like that. The other thing is that it helps you start thinking about decision making. How do you know whether to try to get a medevac versus trying to help a person get out on their own? And if you don't have a wilderness specific first aid kit, try to find one in your area. Even a one-day course will really help. I don't know if I just spent that whole time out of focus, but I'm not going to reshoot it. Okay, now 3 people to tag / shout out. Please don't feel pressured to do this tag. I won't be insulted. Also, I didn't go check if you'd already done this tag. I want to choose Tim Watson, That Hiking Guy, and the Otter Outdoorsman. And I chose those 3 because they are all gear savvy and very weight conscious, and I'm sure that they have some great tips on useful and multifunctional and light first aid items. So I'd like to hear from you guys. Don't feel pressured. And I think that's it for today. If you want to watch some of my other videos, you can check them out right here. Usually I'm outside more, but the weather's been kind of slushy out there. It's kind of the in-between time when it's not that good for anything. And you can also subscribe to my channel right here. Okay, thanks, and see you next week-ish.